As he makes his way through the imposing prison gates, the Minister of Interior, Comrade Abba Morrow, begins assessment of damages almost immediately. News went out to town over the weekend that there has been trouble in this prison, leaving many contemplating if it was an attempted jailbreak or an uproar. Barely 2 months on the saddle, DCP Koyode Williams explains why he is being considered high-handed by the inmates.
But I told them that I'm an Indian and assets. And I said, there are too many answers here. I called on the inmates here with my staff and told them, I don't want answers in this yard. The first day, it was 33. The next one, they gave me 23. Between last 10 days and now, I have 26 in my office.
To check inmates' SSS, a court was put on patrol brought into the prison for inmates to power their generators. And as it stands now, these generators stand confiscated, in addition to over 100 mobile phones.
I think we can conveniently characterize what happened here on Friday as a riot within the prison. The riot, from the information that is available to me, is that some heads of churches, particularly the Freedom Chapel within the prison, came here unauthorized to install some gadgets, the loudspeaker system and some fans in the prison, without the knowledge of the officials of the prison, and it led to some questions, and the decision of the prison authority in Kirikiri here not to allow the installation of those facilities without proper authorization.
What really could be responsible, though? For the avoidance of doubt, this prison has a built-in capacity for 1,700 persons. Current number of inmates stands at 2,534. Only 98 have been convicted so far, while leaving a total of 2,436 awaiting trial, with a 160 staff strength. The actions of the inmates may be reactionary, though not justifiable. However, these statistics speak volume.
At the moment, yes, we have congestion, and it is very, very, very unacceptable. This is part of the whole problem of the prison system in Nigeria that we are grappling with. And I can assure you that by the time we finish our categorization of crimes and criminals and come up with possible solutions, that we will be able to contain the problem of congestion in our prisons. A decay that I have noticed now on some of the facilities in the prisons, the fencing requires some level of rehabilitation. The watchtower requires some upgrading. And of course, I think more fundamentally, there is need for us to rethink about the level of freedom that inmates can enjoy, especially compared to international best practices.
All seem to be very quiet now, and that's courtesy of the prison's armed squad, the prison's dog unit, and the Nigerian army, who's brought a lot of quietness to what happened here on Friday beyond the walls of these medium security prisons. Now, but what the federal government is saying that from this moment, a lot is going to go in the way of prison welfare, prison personnel training, and making sure that this place and other prisons across the country begins to have a semblance of what a correction facility should be. From Kirikiri town here in Lagos, this is Olu Phillips reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, yes, we're joined now by Mr. Koyode Williams, who is of the Prison Rehabilitation Ministry International. Thank you for coming on today.
Wow, thank you.
Well, yes, you could actually relate with that, but we have several cases of jailbreaks in the country. But about this one, they refer to it as different things. Some said it was a riot, or others said it was an attempted jailbreak. And then, but from the account that the prison official there did give, he comes in and reads the Riot Act, that you can't be having your phones in the prisons and then they kind of like to live. He thought that, wait a minute, this is not the way it's supposed to be at this medium security prison. Give us your experience. I mean, from what you've heard, what do you think of that?
Well, I think the real problem is about the man in charge. That's Koyode Williams. For Koyode Williams to come in, because he has not been in the duty, which is general duty, for years. He has been the PRO of the prison. So, and there are ways to work inside the prison. It's different from the way you work as a PRO. You have to first of all undertake and study the terrain so that you don't bang on the inmates. Because there are super prisoners.
Super prisoners?
Yes, that are even bigger than him. And two, he is not fully experienced about handling the issue of the prisoners. Because from the information that I got, I heard that it was a fan, and I even had the minister talking about the fan, that without the knowledge of the prison authority, the Christian body installed the fan.
Can that be?
Can that be? That is the question. How can they feed the minister with such a flimsy excuse? How did the prison allow the Christian's body or the religious body to install fans without their knowledge?
But how can...
Is it in spirit?
No, but would the minister, or should the minister believe that story as well?
That is why I expected him not to even say something there. It should have first of all allow an inquiry or probe to take place so that he can know how to speak to the society. But unfortunately, he was speaking in defense of Koyode Williams, who has been a PRO for more than 17, 18 years. You put somebody who have the experience when you are talking of prison like medium, maximum security prison. Koyode should have gone back to the rural areas to start afresh, because he has been on the area that is different from the training of working with prisoners.
But these super prisoners that you refer to, what does that mean? I mean, you said they're even bigger than him.
You can see some generating sets. So it means some people, like normally we said in the city, that I pass my neighbor. There are some prisoners there that passes other prisoners. They have the money, they have the power, they have the people outside supporting them. So for Koyode to just jump on one of them, because what I heard was that one of the inmates was locked up, and other landlords association, his co-friends in the prison, went to Koyode to demand for his release. I want to tell you that there must have been sabotage. Not only the prisoners are rioting, there must have been some prison officers who did not like the system of Koyode Williams,
so they
who was instigated.
Does that suggest that they might have been benefiting from the maybe
Definitely, he's talking of people coming in with handsets. Who is bringing handsets? They are indicting themselves. He's supposed to cover his face with shame, not to talk of how the things comes in. They first of all need to know, how did they get this? He said he seized about 20. Later, the second day, some came with some other. Who are the people? Who are those people coming with it?
I thought he was talking about those who he is consistently seizing. Having met it on ground, he thought that this should not be.
He may be saying that, but who are the people bringing the phone inside? The prisoners are not going out to go and purchase phone. So definitely, insiders must be part of the people bringing in the phones. Indian hemp, cigarettes, every other thing that they buy in the society is also being freely used in the prison. So what I am thinking of is that the prison authority need to look into the prison more about rehabilitation and reformation. If the prisoners are proper, and they are talking of awaiting trials, they said only 97 were convicted out of 2,000 plus. So how did prison officer want to handle the inmates that are not convicted? Because these people have not been convicted. They are not guilty yet.
In other words, they should be handled differently from the convicts.
With human kindness, with some method of, look, I understand what you are doing. Because most of the awaiting trial inmates have more connections than the convicted ones. Because you will derope the convicted ones. you cannot completely derail awaiting trials because they still go to court. And like I told you, most of these prisoners have more money than the salaries of the warders taking care of them. And the welfare of the prison officers who are not taken care of. Most of the prison officers are begging from them, not because they wanted to, but they are not properly catered for. Why should they go and invite the army when we have the armed squad of the Nigerian prison service? They've been trained.
And they're still functional.
They are functional. What is their duty? Do they equip them? Do they sponsor? Do they really finance the armed squad of the Nigerian prison? Why should they go and invite police, military men to invade the prison? Prisoners that have no arm, they don't have guns. So what do you want to do? If the warders are properly cooperating and they are working together with the prisoner in a normal way, it's only one warder that will address the inmates. Because for the 2,000 of them to have been kept quiet for many days, years, no riot, is it gun that they used to keep them?
You know, it's fascinating when you talk about super prisoners. I mean, I'm just still trying to clarify some issues. Is it true, or have you also heard that some of these maybe super prisoners actually attend clubs, nightclubs, and then they could leave the premises of the prison and then go back thereafter? Does it happen?
That is why we are, with what he's telling us now, if they are telling us that they are having phones, they have generators, which were not allowed in officially, which means all these things were smuggled in. If generators can be smuggled in, if phones can come in, then any other information, your guess is as good as mine, that they might have been having, anything is going on with things.